Welcome back to the film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And yes, our regular look at the Apprentice Series 16, and we're at week 5. Yes, so we'll be down to 10 by the end of this, guys. There are spoilers on this, so make sure you've watched it before you watch this. Game time, it's all games this week. Design and build a game. Not easy in 2 days, is it, guys? But they had a go, and perhaps they didn't do quite as well as they should do. So we'll have a look at that. Please, we're now monetized, so if you can follow any of the ads or follow the links to the advertisers, that will help the channel monetization going forward. So that'd be much appreciated. If not, just press that skip button. Don't worry about it. And please, any thumbs up you can give me, absolutely brilliant. Press that notification button so you know when these little vlogs on film and TV are coming out. And of course, don't forget my little sister channel or brother channel, whichever way you look at it, on my football team, Manchester City, as well. Right, yeah, last week, of course, we lost Alex, didn't we, on the fishy task. So obviously it's the girls, really, but we've only lost one girl, and that was through illness. So the girls are sort of, what's the word they used to use certainly a couple of years ago, smashing it, aren't they? Yeah, something I never really used myself, but seems to have gone out of fashion now, that word. So 11 remain at the moment before this episode to win the £250,000. That's not bad, is it? Because Diverse won the last 2 weeks, they decided to totally mix the teams up, so I had to do more graphics today. We're changing the teams. We got Infinity, it's now Catherine, Amy, Aaron, Harpreet and Akeem. Yeah, interesting mix. I mean, I quite like Harpreet, but she's sort of got a work cut out with that lot, I think. And on Team Diverse, we have Francesca, Brittany, Nick, Akshay, Steph and Sophie. Yeah, Steph and Sophie are not getting on that well at the moment. And they went to Samsung in King's Cross. I've never been there. I don't know if it was there when I was last in London. I've been to London for football matches, but I've not been to have a good nosy for quite a few years now. I'll have to remedy that at some stage. Apparently now a £7 billion industry here in the UK, and they have to design a brand new game and pitch it to three people in the know who know about these things, and they would decide who they would have invested in. I mean, we'll talk about it briefly, but yeah, I mean, it is a strange thing, isn't it? Because to be honest with you, they have to have a winner, don't they? But I'm sure based on what we saw, they probably wouldn't have picked either of these two, to be honest with you. Diverse, Brittany put a name forward for PM. Very, very passionate this week about global warming, etc. So I did actually say she's not done much recently, so she would have to do something this week as PM. Save the animals, yeah, reduce global warming, etc., etc. Yeah, all whether it's good for a game, I'm not too sure. Francesca was made sub-team leader. Poor Francesca. She sort of got that job to do. And the name of the Arctic, yeah, I mean, obviously that was very early in the thing, and it got noticed, but obviously it couldn't be acted upon because all the demos had been done. They spelled Arctic, A-R-T-I-C, as in the lorry, which obviously had been pointed out very quickly, but it was too late to do anything about it. So poor Francesca had to take the hit for that. She was in charge of the sub-team. And of course, Sam the Scientist, well, that's going to excite everybody, isn't it? Sam the Scientist, he had quite a muscular body, but the trouble is he had about 15 layers of clothes over the top of it, so he didn't get that part of it. And I think the title as well, I mean, the old branding was disaster. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other one there. No, yeah, the actual playing of it and the style of it, it was more aimed at young kids, I would have thought. It wasn't really something to grab you. I'm not sure what the age range they were aiming for in this. And obviously how PC it was. You had, if you've got young kids, you've got people being shot as well. So it's a very odd mix of a gameplay and branding altogether. Brittany, of course, when she come to do the pitch, was very emotional. And obviously they asked a certain question, not just about the spelling, which was picked up on very quickly. They hope they get away with it, but they shouldn't have really done that. I think they should have stated before they started. And how many penguins in the Arctic, and there aren't any in the Arctic, of course, in the other one. So that was interesting. And it's something that I perhaps wouldn't have known off the top of my head. I do know it, but I wouldn't have known which were the Antarctic or the Arctic. I wouldn't have known myself, would have had to check it up. But, I mean, they have time to do these sort of things, don't they? But there's some very cringy excuses for problems, and that wouldn't have gone down well with the experts, to be honest with you. As for the other team, Infinity, yeah, Akeem used to play professionally. He said games professionally. All credit to him. So he put himself forward as PM. Another guy who's been very quiet the last couple of weeks. So again, at least we're going to get more from him this week. And they decided Akeem had a few ideas, but he kept getting sort of superseded by his team. So we ended up with a prison escape with a strong female figure that was obviously was going to be Catherine was going to be used as the basis for this, which she quite enjoyed, which is fair enough. And they called the game, yeah, this is one I was thinking of. The game was called Time, as in doing time, but there's nothing in that sort of name to tell you what it was about until you start watching it, to be honest with you. And of course, Amy, who has a theatrical background, has been on QVC and various things, I think she came up with a script for a 90-minute film. I don't know about a game that lasts, for a couple of minutes. Demo of a game, but obviously everyone was falling asleep, unfortunately. But you got to give her credit; at least she made the effort, and that's what Amy does. And the name, yeah, I mean, obviously we had Sam the Scientist, but at least he come up with a good name, Amelia Stone. So yeah, that was very. As soon as he said that, well, that's something. It's nothing clever, but it says what it says on the tin, doesn't it? And I think in the game they were playing, I think she beat up one guy. I think there's one guy she had to beat up, which wasn't much. And of course, when they did the pitch, they sort of messed it up a little bit. Harpreet was struggling. She's usually quite confident, Harpreet, with a little speech. She forgot with the lines. She forgot what to say. Akeem was confident, but he wanted to drag everyone off the stage without taking any questions from the experts, if you like. So a bit nervy, the presentation. But yeah, interestingly enough, it was Diversity who actually did the better pitch. Obviously, as it happened, their pitch was pretty good. Obviously, the Infinity one was certainly struggling. So yeah, neither game really impressed. Neither team really impressed in the pitch for me. So it was going to be a case of which was the less worse, I think, as to who was going to win this. So I think on reflection, when we go to the boardroom and see the result, I think the experts probably wouldn't have invested in either of them, but you have to have a winner, don't you? Akeem was getting a bit of stick for his wishy-washy, for the way he was swayed far too easily as PM. But we soon got to how much they'd won, and yeah, Infinity got 60k, 20k each from the three experts, and Diverse unfortunately got nothing because it was too simple. The branding was all wrong, the name was wrong, everything. There's so much wrong with it. So obviously Infinity, although it wasn't really Infinity from last week, they changed half the teams around. So Infinity got off to a win. That's for sure. I did say last week, of course, that Akeem and Brittany had been quiet. So obviously this time at least he stood up. At least, all right, Akeem might have got knocked down a bit by his team, but at least he stood up and they were coming up with ideas, which was nice to see because they have been very, very quiet. And though Akeem was obviously won this, he was lucky in a way that he was sort of more or less. I think if they'd have lost, I think he would have been struggling to stay in the process. To be honest with you, the way Lord Sugar spoke to him. No shows, yeah. Nick and Akshay were absolutely non-existent in this. The boys are a bit useless, aren't they? In this, for me, the girls aren't great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the girls are fantastic, but there seem to be a lot of stronger characters in the girls. And obviously Sophie again got a bit of stick in the boardroom. Was very quiet again. So obviously when it came to who was coming back, I was obviously Brittany has to come back. And I thought Francesca, but I tell you what, you could have permed anyone from Nick, Ashkay, and Sophie for coming back in. But obviously, because Sophie got a bit of stick in the boardroom, I think it was decided she was going to come back in. But I think she was. I was thinking she was fairly safe when they come back. I think it was going to be really between Brittany and Francesca for who was going to go in this. So at least three girls back. So at least finally one of the girls was going to get sacked, which, to be honest, was a shame because certainly those three girls certainly I would have rated probably above most of the lads, to be honest with you. So a bit more from Brittany. she isn't stronger, obviously, as Francesca. And Sophie, again, okay, but obviously it was the strongest of the three that was sacked. We ended up with getting Francesca sacked of the three, and as I said, I think Francesca is far stronger going forward, or would have been far stronger going forward than perhaps Brittany, and definitely Sophie. So bit of a funny one, that, but she did make a bit of a mess of this, so it's a bit unfortunate. The panel said they agreed 2-1 that she should have been fired, and the audience, I think the guy on Your Fire said it was close, but I think it was pretty much 70-30 from what I could see from the cards they were sort of lifting up. Right, there you go. We've got 10 guys left now. So what I've done the top 10. I want to let me know what yours are. These are just my little top 10. I don't think, based on it will change. This is just at this point in time based on what I've seen over the first 5 weeks. This is the order that I'm putting the 10 that are left in. And as I say, I hope it will change. But as I said, the boys are struggling. The girls aren't great, but they are far better than the boys. And I'm yet to see some that's really impressing me week in, week out. And perhaps the one I've got as number 1 has perhaps impressed me the last 2 or 3 weeks. So that's not a bad start. So, yeah, in 10th spot, I'm going to go Nick right at the bottom. I think he's just a waste of space. I don't know what he adds to anything. And then I'm going to Akshay, who very much the same. I don't see what he adds to it. He's in number 9. In number 8 spot, I'll put Brittany, although she improved this week. She may go back in the shell next week and try and play safe again. I'm not too sure. In 7, Aaron, yeah, he was one of my favourites when this sort of process kicked off, when he did the introduction of them all. I thought he looked confident. He talked pretty well. But he's a bit, again, like the other two lads I've already mentioned, actually, Nick, a bit wishy-washy. And number 6, again, Hakeem did okay this week, but if he's not going to put himself forward, he's going to struggle. So he's at number 6. And then literally you got the 5 girls. It's only Brittany I don't rate in the top 6 of the girls. You got Sophie in 5th spot. I think she has to speak up for herself a little bit more. She's getting a little bit of stick. Amy, who likes to speak, but I don't know whether there's much there behind it all. She's great, and I do like Amy's presentation, but whether it's all on the outside, superficial, I'm not too sure with Amy yet. And I would sort of put is it Stephanie? Yeah, Stephanie's in 3rd. I was thinking of Francesca then. Stephanie's in 3rd. I put her above Amy. Catherine, I think, is confident. Again, she doesn't say too much, but she is quite confident herself. And number 1 won't surprise you at the moment. I've got Harpreet as my number 1, but as I said, that top 10 might change. But that's an idea what I think anyway, guys. Let me know if you can what you're thinking. And obviously next week, when there'll only be 9 left after next week, unless he does a double one, which I don't think he will. They're all off to North Wales, and the lovely rain, and I'm sure we did see a little snippet of it, didn't we, where they're doing all the artwork and on the canvases, and it starts raining. A bit of a silly idea in North Wales to do painting, but hey, there you go. So they've got to set up and run a bespoke tour. So both teams will be down 5 each as well. So hopefully you won't mess with the teams next week and leave them as they are, because they're evenly split now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought anyway. And did you think? I think it was fair she got sacked, but it's a shame that she took so much on as the sub team leader, because she got all the faults fell on her doorstep, and I don't think she was that bad. She certainly, for me, she was in the top 5 at least, possibly the top 2 or 3 before this show. So we have lost a strong candidate, I think, a bit too early. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. What are we going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Film and TV channel, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.